Hello guys, Cybershroom here for another video about Smash Brothers. Now for today's topic, I'll be talking about cut content. This ain't no missing bits video, but I guess you can consider it one, as today we're going to be talking about the scrap stages that didn't make it into the final builds of Smash Brothers games. There are quite a few stages that got cut for one reason or another, and I actually managed to categorize them. First, we got our considered stages. These were ideas for potential stages that never actually went into development and stopped at the thought process. Second would be unfinished stages. These stages can be booted up in a game to some result, however either isn't finished or just wasn't meant to be played by normal means. Finally, we got removed stages. These are usually not bootable, however a few lines of code remains on the game disc, or there's evidence of the stage existing at one point in time during the development phase, usually by notes or interviews with Sakurai. With that, we'll see a mix of all three categories in this video, and if you feel like I missed out on a lost stage, be sure to tell me down in the comments below. I am Cybershroom with the top 10 scrap stages in the Super Smash Bros. Series. Number 10 was a stage that was completed and fully playable in a Smash Bros. Game, but was removed from returning in a later entry. Of course, I'm talking about Hannenball from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Hannenball, if that's how you actually pronounce it, is a stage from the Electroplankton series, one I ain't too familiar with, but was introduced to it from Brawl. It isn't a very good stage if I'm going to be honest, but it was rather colorful. However, from it not being a very good stage might explain why it was cut from Super Smash Bros. Wii U, as it exists in the game as a file called Plankton. And of course, when you have Plankton, you're going to tie it to Electroplankton, which is going to tie it to Hannenball. I doubt this was for a potential new stage in the series, as well why would they bother making a new one in the first place. Here's a quick update. I had this video script ready before the August 8th Direct mentioning that this stage could return for Ultimate. And what do you know, it actually happened. It still sucks, but it's kinda cool that it's back. Number 9 appears to be the only considered stage from Super Smash Bros. Melee. While the rest of the cut Melee stages have some type of hint of them being in the works at one point, this is the only stage where Sakurai confirmed it via interviews. This stage was supposed to be based off Sprout Tower from Pokemon Gold and Silver. From the Smash Melee Dojo in a questionnaire back before the game released, a fan asked if we were to see a stage from Johto in Melee. Sakurai did reply saying at the start of the development there was to be a stage from Johto, and it could have been the Tower of Madasu Sombi, or the English name Sprout Tower. It's a shame we didn't end up seeing Sprout Tower make it into Melee, as it would have been a better Gen 2 representation than just having Pichu be a clone of Pikachu. There ain't no artwork of the stage however, but visually maybe attempt to imagine Suzaku Castle from Smash Bros. Wii U in the style of Pokemon. I would actually want to see this stage be real in Ultimate, as once again more representation of Gen 2 besides just the stage Pokemon Stadium 2. Plus Gold and Silver are the best Pokemon games anyways, so it would be great to see more content based around those games. Number 8 are the test stages from Super Smash Bros. 64. The reasons for these being so low is that I already covered them in an older video discussing the content of Super Smash Bros. 64, and if you guys want to check that out, there will be a link in the description. While having similar assets to Dreamland 64, these test stages, small or new, were just created as placeholders and to test the terrain of ledges. These are actually still bootable via the debug menu, so hop on Project 64 and go have some fun. Alright, so be honest, did anyone like Icicle Mountain from Melee? To me, it's one of the worst stages in Smash Bros. History. Fun to play as a joke, and its song is actually really good, like my favorite Ice Climber track, but I'd rather have Rumble Falls from Brawl over this. Kinda makes you wish Ice Climbers got a better stage in Melee, and it turns out they were going to, as number 7 is a removed unfinished stage that would have been related to the Ice Climbers. Number 7 is simply known as Ice Top in the game files. You see, when you look at the Melee stage select screen, you see that the series stages are stacked on top of each other, with the top row being more safe stages, while the bottom a bit more wild with gimmicks. The few exceptions are Flat Zone, the special stages, and Icicle Mountain, so possibly Ice Top would have been considered the safe version of an Ice Climber stage, but when you boot it up for debug, it actually only loads the top part of Icicle Mountain with no music. So at one point the top version of the mountain could have been its own part of the stage with no scrolling, but maybe Sakurai decided it was too lazy, or maybe the summit stage from Brawl would have been in Melee, as the name attempting to hack it into Ice Top we'll just load up the name Icicle Mountain / Summit. Number 6 is yet another Ice Climber stage, intended for Super Smash Bros. Melee, and no, it wasn't a potential third stage, rather based off the name, it was intended possibly for the Adventure Mode. You see, in Super Smash Bros. Melee's Adventure Mode, each starting universe got 2 stages before it transitioned to just 1 stage with places like Pokemon Stadium. Based off the file name 10-2, it would have taken right after 10-1, which was the first Ice Climber stage. I personally got no idea what the stage could have been like as loading up crashes the game, but maybe it could have been like an 8-bit version of Icicle Mountain, like in Popo's Target Test. The next 2 entries are going to be somewhat related to Smash 3DS. They could have been in the works for the Wii U version of Smash 4, but based on the names, safe to say these were 3DS stages. Both not from any series that had a fighter already in the game, but both were just popular DS/3DS titles. The first one simply being called Diary. Now this one was only known to exist because of an empty emblem slot in the Japanese versions of Smash 4 for 3DS and Wii U. Diary could simply well be referred to Swapnote, as that was a pretty big 3DS messenger app before Nintendo shut it down, because, well, nah, I don't want to go Chris Hansen on this video. That actually might be why the stage was scrapped. Nintendo just didn't want to have anything to do with it, and probably told Sakurai to give up on it. At least the mascot, Nikki, is an assist trophy in Ultimate now. Number 4 is the other cut Smash 3DS stage, that being Brain Age. Actually surprised this stage didn't make it into the final cut, as Brain Age has been pretty popular in Smash since Brawl, from remixes to having an assist trophy. Real shame we actually didn't see the stage implemented. While the file itself is empty, safe to say it would have been something like PictoChat, but with math. I could see a stage coming back in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate fully playable, as not only since it was planned at one point they could just reuse the idea, but also for the fact that Brain Age is still the best-selling Wii U game since the last few months. I'm actually not joking, literally go look at the sales charts. Every week, Brain Age, #1. I wonder if the homebrew community has anything to do with it. Number 3 is the Cut Dr. Mario stage. This one's pretty famous, as it was a center around a major leak back in 2015 that I myself fell for, but turns out there actually was a Dr. Mario stage in the works. In the game files of Smash Wii U, you can find portrait data of the viruses from Dr. Mario with a boss character ID, similar to Ridley or the Master Core, so maybe they could have been for a Dr. Mario stage. I actually would really wanted to see a Doc stage, as he's different enough from Mario not to be a straight up clone, and having his own stage to represent him would have been cool, and like a few of the other stages on this list, I would really want to see this in Ultimate. Number 2 is probably the most famous removed stage in the series, that being what would have been the first Fire Emblem stage, Arcania. Arcania, for those who don't know, is a continent featured in Fire Emblem's first game, Shadow Dragon. Now, while it ain't bootable, Sakurai has given us a basic idea how the stage would have looked. Imagine the first phase of Castle Siege from Brawl by itself, with a lot more background elements including dragons, cannons, fire, and mages. Castle Siege actually kept most of the ideas Melee had besides the dragon and mages, while expanding it with 2 other forms, which later on would become the stage morph feature in Ultimate. Shame we didn't see this version in Melee, but at least the Fire Emblem Melee theme was still used and hearable via the temple stage. Y'all know what number 1 was going to be, as it's the thumbnail to most cut Smash Bros stages, as to be fair, it's the most weird stage at a glance. Of course, talking about the best Nintendo level, the bar. The bar, or simply called Test in the game files to Melee, is similar to the N64 stages where the layout was just meant to test out Melee's ledges and physics. The stage is huge, like Home Run Contest huge, and of course the skybox is an image of a real bar in America. The bar is Cafe Verano in Palo Alto, California. It's unknown exactly why this image was used, but I think it might be an inside joke by the development team, kinda like how Mario Kart GP's development team had that one placeholder image of some real life massacre. That was kinda weird actually. And with that guys, that wraps up 10 scrapped stages in the Super Smash Bros. Series. If you guys felt I left out a stage, be sure to tell me down in the comments below. Also, before you ask, no, Brawl didn't have any real cut stages that weren't rumors, that's why none appeared on this list. Anyways, as I close out this video, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I also want to mention that I got social media links and Patreon in the description. As always, I'm Cybershoom, hoping you have a good one.